Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, finally here we are coming up with a day three, some amazing matches, and if we talk about the day, we are almost going to face three back-to-back matches. It's going to be very much exciting, which is going to be very much crucial for the teams, for the players as well. But without wasting any time, we'll directly move towards the first match of the day, which is recently gonna be of a angle. And without wasting any time, if we also talk about the fly path, starting from those southern parts of the region, the fly path will get ended towards those northern parts of the region, which is gonna be quite difficult, quite chaotic for the teams and players as well. Let's see what will be the scenarios, what will be the approaches. If we talk about the major drop clashes, well, military base, poaching key, Rozok, even Water City School, Savorni regions. Well, these are the region to watch out where we can see the again number of drop clashes right now. But the question is that will the players acquire or entertain those drop clashes at early phases? This is the very important question to watch out. Talking about the 10 houses around those farm region, as we can see, EDT Luna. Well, here comes the heavy drop clash where it's almost about the first player who gets the gun. I think they'll surely get this fight as well, but with that pistol, I don't think so it's gonna be that easy for any player or any solo surviving team as well, because if you go with that one-on-one, you should have a perfect weapon on your side as well as a good helmet vest will always support you. But talking about Luna, with that DBS, I think this is a good close range combat, so you could go with that DBS and a level 3 helmet, level 2, level 3 vest and level 2 helmet. But the question is that players are decently waiting for that 1v3, because two players are coming inside. Is going for the jump shot, will he able to take that pick? No, it's gonna be not that easy, and finally Luna has been taken down from Team EDT. It's the first blood of the game, and the first elimination will be also done against Team EDT as well. But talking about team number 13, well, this team is four-man standing. It's a team Axis. Well, if we look at the team, She, Baby, Kiki, and Era, well, four players are standing. They haven't secured any finish point, but I think they were waiting to introduce a fight, and finally, Baby has got the first opening pick against Sister. It's a typical 4v4 fight in the silent region called Primorsk, and I am pretty much waiting and pretty much aware as well. The teams and players, well, the hold on forward will move on forward with aggressive approach, especially the teams getting those early knocks. And there comes the one more spray. Davika has been taken down one by one. Each player has been taken down. Jetsi solo player standing for the team. Let's see how will she perform out. What will be the strategy as well, because coming at those 1v2 1v3 scenario 1v2 1v3 scenarios, committing those approaches gonna be very much difficult for her as well. But the pressure is totally unbelievable. Let's see how will they perform out. But Mike Rosie, well, this weapon is almost on a choke. With those 35 bullets, you need to be very much precise enough, and if you aren't precise, I don't think it will work a lot. But with this Molotov, I think this can change the game. But there's the exchange of Molotov and grenade on both the side. Jetsi with the Molotov and the opponent with the grenade. Mike Rosie, it's a great combination with that mini 14, but in close range you have to be very precise. She was trying to go up, but finally has been taken up by the shotgun, and the perfect planning and perfect execution is done by team number 13 with those 4 finishes point in their backpack. 15 teams, 59 players are still surviving. If we talk about the drop clashes, we'll again move towards the Novoripnoy region. Well, team MAB, this team is totally ready with those 4 men strong advantage. They haven't secured any finish point yet, moving very anonymously, moving very slowly, and moving very targetedly. Let's see what will be the result. But talking about team number 22, this team is a 4-man standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet, and I believe the movement of team is pretty much clear. The movement of teams, the movement of players is pretty much known to the opponents as well. Talking about those zone eastern parts of the region, if we talk about EDT, Maha, Purple, Mrityu, well, they have already lost Luna at those early phases, which could cause them a lot of trouble, which could cause them a lot of a cluster and lot of crowd. The question is that how will they maintain the consistency? But apart from these things, if we talk about the zone formation, Well, as I can see, zone is totally shifted towards those northwestern parts of the region, and there's one single team as compared to the yesterday match. Team Stalwart Esports. This team is that solo team combining all often decent position to watch out. One only team residing in the center of the zone, which is very much different to watch out, which is almost very much unique to watch out. And let's see how will they move forward, what will be their strategies. 15 teams, 59 players are still surviving, and there comes the rotation clashes. Finally, if we look towards team number 16, around those bridges the teams are getting clusterified, players are getting crowded enough, and some knocks and some picks are getting against team A. Maybe they have lost one player, Lucy, onto their side, talking about ESPNI. I think if I'm not wrong, it's ETPNI. She's hiding out to get some more area, to get some more time. And if Cherry takes that chance, it could be very much disturbing. It could be very much challenging. But finally, she has tried, and I believe she's already succeeded enough in this rotation and in this process as well. But at the same time, if we talk about the Gatka region, well, as we can see, four-man standing team has lost almost one player. Talking about Team Mata, yesterday's matches was just fantastic for the team, was just phenomenal for the players as well. But right now, if we talk about Mata, four-man standing team with those 0 finishes point in the backpack, they have secured top 15 position right now with those top 58 alive players into their favor. And this is what we call a decent pacific approach, a decent holding. Almost 6 to 7 minutes is over. Let's see how will they improve out, what will be the strategies right now. But holding regions like Gatka, holding regions like Zarke is always a challenge for you guys, because at any point you can get attacked by your enemies from anywhere, so you should be very much alert. But talking about Potato Hill, well, if we look towards team number 9, this team is 4 months standing. They also haven't secured any finish point, but still moving with that same consistency, and this is what we required. Because if you move with that same consistency, with that progressive approach, with that adaptive approach, I think you can always have those improvisation behavior on your side. But talking about team TSR, they are got with those northern rotation. Finally they have reached towards Georgia Bull region, so those bridges regions on those northern parts of the map. But right now I think they'll still move forward to get some decent point in the zone. Will they use this potential area? Will they use some another potential area? This is also a region to watch out, but almost 8 minutes is over, and if we look towards the rotation clashes, I'm pretty much waiting for those rotation clashes. Talking about Team Malta, they enjoy the fights, they enjoy the process, they enjoy their aggression onto their side. They haven't secured any finish point yet, but the question is that finally they have spotted Manaka, and let's see, will they like to or love to play that rat cat chase gameplay, because it's gonna be very much exciting and very much entertaining as well. But I believe Monica has got some clue about their enemies, and she has got some different kind of rotation, she has got some information, and finally she is changing of the ideas, and finally she is changing of the results as well. 15 teams, 58 players are still surviving. If we talk about the northeastern parts of the region, well, it is secured by team number 21. Well, team SE, this team is 4-man standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet. They're on top 15 teams, top 58 alive players, which is a pretty much decent position to watch out. But you have to travel a long run, you have to go for a long run, you have to travel a very long distance from here to there. It's gonna be very much exciting, it's gonna be very much fun for the team, and as well as very much challenging at the same time, because where are the difficulties, there's other opportunities as well. But talking about team number 9, well, this team is 4-man standing. They haven't secured any finish point into their side, but they're still moving. If we look at the vehicle of Zami, well, the vehicle is almost burst out. We can see some smoke areas covered out, we can see some dents over the vehicles, and which could be very much struggling for the player, and could be risky as well if some opponents or if some enemies get some good shots on the vehicles. I think due to vehicle explosion, he or she will get some opening knock as well, and get a good confidence. Let's see what will happen on those point. But talking about the prime location, which is the Georgia Bull Hill, is secured by Team IHC, and they're utilizing their height advantages very much nicely. They're trying to recall the position. They're trying to recall their region by those tap shots, trying to show their aggression in each side, in each corner of the game. And finally, team, if we talk about Team EDT, they are trying to save their vehicle, because if they know if the vehicles is lost, they are almost like a handicap, and the rotation will become very much difficult for the teams and very much difficult for the players. But the split of Team IHC on those Georgia Pool regions, I think it's very much important. If any one of the player gets knocked at those uppermost pass, the pressure is totally on the Team IHC. Let's see how they perform out. But if we look at Mikasa GS, he was trying to create some knock, he was trying to create some spray, but the damage is done towards itself, towards him only. And if we talk about EDT, well, they're totally down the ground, and it's gonna be very much difficult. It's gonna be very much challenging for any of the team to shoot above or to shoot towards Georgia Pool Hill at those higher altitude, because it's become very much difficult to control the recoil and get the perfect direction and get the perfect shot onto the regions. But let's see what will be the results. Finally, almost 10 to 11 minutes are over, which means first phase of the match is over. 15 teams, 58 players are still surviving, and almost 11 to 12 minutes is over. Let's see what will be the result, what will be strategies of teams and player. But right now, talking about the shooting range region, as we can see, this region is totally weakened, and Team Liquid 5 Esports today, they are playing very much slowly, very much synonymally. If we talk about Shasha, Animo, Sunshine, and Floor, well, these are the four-man standing team. They haven't secured any finish point yet. They're moving with that close call combat, which is a very decent region, which is a very decent progression to watch out. And again, the question will be same, that how will they move with that same consistency and same progression. I'm really sorry, there were some issues. But talking about the northern parts of the region, well, northern parts of the region is still looking very much difficult. Northern parts of the region is still looking very much chaotic, very much challenging for the teams, for the players as well. 15 teams, 58 players are surviving. Almost 12 minutes is over, and there comes the hard shift of the zone. But it's a hard shift. Some teams may be happy, some team may be happier, because Georgia Pool is getting the zone's attraction region. It's going to be getting the zone central parts of the region, and Team IHC, I believe they could be in a very great position right now, and they could if they could retain the Georgia Pool region, Georgia Pool Hill position, I think it's going to be very much fantastic for the team and player as well. They could build a match from here to top 3 or top 5 even as well. But talking about another team, well, if we talk about team number 5, this team, well, for now the time being, they are 4-man standing. If we talk about the finishers point, only one finishers point is secured by the team, which is not a big number. You can always attain or detain these numbers between the matches, between the games. But moving towards the another player, moving towards the another team, if we look towards the Georgia Pool Hill, it's still looking very much difficult. It's still looking very much challenging for the team, very much crucial for the players. And finally, if I'm not wrong, Team TSR, they are trying to create some upcoming believable approaches. They're trying to create some holdable approaches onto their side with those, I think, a lot of good teamwork, a lot of good progression. 13 to 14 minutes is almost over. Talking about Team TSR, well, this team is 4-man standing with those 0 finishes point, moving, attaining forward with a decent number into her hand, having Scarl with that MP45, which is a great combination to watch out. Talking about Engage, well, he's also waiting and he'll also try to get some more finishes point with those Karan. And here comes the phenomenal spray. He was trying to get some more finishes point, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. The planning is very much easy, but the execution of those plans become very much difficult, very much challenging for the teams and for the players as well. 15 teams, 58 players are still surviving. Talking about Access, well, this team is 4-man standing with those 4 finishes point in the backpack. Let's see how they move forward, because right now they are at the decent ground level. If they want to attain those heights, I think going upward against Team ISC could be a challenge, and taking that risk at this point of the time is not that worth it, not that required as well. But on to the other end, if we talk about those bridges region, Team SC, well, they are trying to create some new area, new space inside the new zone, and let's see, will they are they able to contain that progression. But in between those things, Liquid 5 Esports, I think this team is totally ready to take that challenge and get the rotation clashes. But as we can see in the kill feed, Team QR, well, they are coming back in action. Some bolt action sniper rifles, the shots could be also could be taken. But looking towards ruins region, which is very much entertaining for the teams and for the players. So well, the last player, if I'm not wrong, this is the second last player, ETPSCI, well, she is still standing. If we talk about Mavix, she's also waiting around to get the call to get the area inside the zone. But as you can see, players are coming very close to each other, and as they're coming close to each other, the breathing space is decreasing, and a lot of crowd, lot of cluster are built it up. A lot of fights we can see here. But talking about Team SITM, till now they haven't secured any finish point. This phase, this approach is a totally decent much to acquire out 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point, and they have secured top 15 position, which is also a decent number to watch out. But talking about northeastern parts of the region, well, this team is 4 men standing. They are still waiting on will they able to take those finishes point. If we talk about Shasha, Shasha is also waiting. She's also holding down. She is waiting to get those sprays, and finally the other sprays are on point. Will she able to get those trace? And there comes the phenomenal tracing on the vehicle. She'll get that knock. I'm pretty much sure the kill could be stealed, but it's not that easy. And on to the other end, if you talk about Sunshine, well, Sunshine is at another off guard angle, and team number 21, well, the total pressure on the team is Mimic. If you look at Mimic, is that solo player standing for the team, the lone ranger, the last survivor. As within a snap, Liquid 5 Esports has taken those 3 finishes point into their favor, which was very much fantastic to watch out. Let's see what Mimic will do. Will she able to get those place point into their favor, or she'll come with a different plan, or she'll come with a different thinking or different stage. But talking about team number 20, well, Team IHC, this team is 4 men standing. No finishes point has been secured by the team down the ground. It's team number 11. They are also having a decent position, a decent down the ground disadvantage. The question is that will they move towards those height advantages? Will they move towards those upper ground? This is the most important question to watch out. But talking about team number 19, well, this team is also waiting forward. As you can see, Suze has been taken down. Multiple fights at one particular time is being engaged, which is very much required, which is very much I think indeed needed. But talking about the zone formation, well, central part is still acquired by Team IHC, and as we were talking, the Georgia Pull Hill, this region is totally clusterified, totally chaotic to watch out. Monica now being that solo player standing for the team under those artificial covers, she is still trying to give some revival currently. But again, the question is that how will they proclaim the holding, how will they proclaim the position. And talking about team number 7, they are still moving forward. 4-man standing team with those 1 finishes point in the favor. I think this is gonna be very much difficult. This fight gonna be very much challenging for both of the teams, because artificial smoke cover or always play a prior role. And let's see this 3v2 with those grenades, with those throwables, which team will win this fight, gonna be very much deciding. But finally, as I can see, Dinox now being that last player surviving, because back-to-back Piano, Mufar and Test has been taken down. She's still waiting forward. If one more grenades or throwables are on point, I think game could be changed right now. But here the zone shrink is also there. Table has been turned. Team number 7 overlooking in a great position, in a great role to watch out. Finally they are getting eliminated one by one, and multiple number of fights are being engaged and are coming back to back in action. In between, if we talk about team number 13, well, this team is 4 men standing with those 5 finishes point into their favor. Talking about team SE, well, this team is still waiting forward access. Well, 4 men standing with those 6 finishes point into their favor, and multiple fights engagement have been done. As we can see, team number 13 is still waiting forward, is still hold it down at those regions. are in a difficult posture. Vertex X Storm, well, the solo player standing, the last lone ranger for the team is still surviving. 12 teams, 34 players, as we can see, are surviving. Stalwart Esports. So, well, I believe this team is now on roll, because earlier we can't see any finishes point by the team, or we can't see any finishes point by the players. But talking about team MEB, Sweetie, Masaki, Cherry, well, 3 men starting. Sweetie and Cherry has been taken down. The whole responsibility is on the shoulder of Misaki. She'll get some few finishes point. Almost 3 finishes point is secured by the team, and an instant revival is also given to the team players as well. Talking about team number 21, well, Mimic solo player standing for the team, and finally she'll also be get eliminated. Talking about team EDT Purple, haha, and Anti-U, well, this team is 3 men standing with those 0 finishes point in their favor, and they're moving very steadily, they're moving very slowly. Talking about team STM, Rita, Samurai, Mizu, Maria, this team is almost 4 men standing with those 4 finishes point, which is a very pretty much good decent number to watch out. But the question is that will they able to attain the same position, same area inside the zone by the movement of time, by the hold of time? This is a very important question to look forward. But talking about Samurai, I think the name totally justify the player. He is totally justifying his name and showing some ninja acrobat skills as well. But talking about team TSR, they're not looking in that great position, because moving towards the lower ground back to back and getting knocks not onto your favor but against your favor, I think it's very much difficult for the teams and players. But Bibu, well, as we can see, she is the solo player surviving for the team with those 3 finishes point, and even the zone shrink has been done. From here to getting inside the zone gonna be very much difficult. 9 teams, 24 players, the maximum cluster, the maximum crowd we can see at those down the ground hilly regions of Georgiapol Hill, which is very much interesting to watch out. And talking about team SITM, well, they are looking also very much stabilized. They are also looking very much challengeable enough. But on to the other end, as I was talking, team IHC was in a great position. Team IHC was on a great hold, and finally those height advantages will help the team lot. M16A4, those 4x tap shot will work a lot, help the team a lot. Let's see, will they able to attain that chicken dinner in this match or not? This is a very important question, because they were having the zone, they were having the man advantage, and if they don't do any mistake, I'm pretty much sure they can get this chicken dinner of the first match of the day 3. Well, similarly, if we talk about another team number 11, who are outside of the zone yet, and they need to come inside the zone, because as we can see, timer only 13 seconds is left out to get inside the zone, and it's become very much difficult for the players and teams to the movement become, the rotation becomes very much challenging. But talking about team MAB, Sweetie and Cherry, well, these teams are 2 men standing with those 3 finishes point, and roughly the question is that let's see how will they move forward. I don't believe that it's gonna be that easy, or I'm not saying that it's gonna be that difficult also, but it's gonna be pretty much challenging. But I believe where are the challenges, there are the opportunity as well. But talking about NF69, she's trying to get some more first aid popped out. Will she able to do that? It's gonna be very much important question. And finally, moving with that Thompson, a great challenge to provoke out is not gonna be that easy. And if she gets knocked right now, right here, and there you go, finally she'll get down and she'll not get down, she'll get eliminated from the game. But talking about SITM, they're totally rolling on, and team Liquid 5 Esports, I think hats off to their performance as well, that they totally customized the game as per their need, as per their requirement. And now the challenge is that they need to defeat Team IHC to get that second winner, because Team IHC is sitting at the top with those height advantage, man advantage, and a rare advantage that could get the team towards chicken dinner. But this is going to be very much difficult, because they're also having the zone, they're also having the man advantage. So a lot of favor is done towards Team IHC by the game itself. But even I know that if they do a single mistake, Team Liquid 5 Esports will take charge. Well, similarly, if we talk about Liquid 5 Esports, they're still down the ground, but looking towards Sunshine. She's trying to create a creative flank from those left hand side, and which is very much brave enough and courageous enough to move towards from left hand side. If she gets knocked here, I think the plan will be failed, and you will also be caught down, because one more region to get up will be tackled down. And if she gets up and gets some upcoming knocks, I'm pretty much sure she can change the game. But here we go, she has spotted one player. Those early picks could cause a lot of trouble, and the grenades are being shot down and going down back towards those den. I think Sunshine is in trouble. She lost a perfect position right now, and if she could pursue some early knocks at those point, I think the game could be won by Liquid 5 Esports. But right now team IHC will grab this position as well to get up, and finally they'll get down. But Sunshine grenade, well, that was a fantastic grenade to watch out. Team Liquid 5 Esports, they're looking in danger, and I don't think you will be able to win this match or not. But team SITM, the last player standing for the team, moving one by one, he'll take one player down, he'll move for the second one, but there you go, he'll get that knock. And finally Liquid 5 Esports, they will get that winner chicken in this match with almost 8 finishers point in the backpack, which is a pretty good decent number to watch out. Talking about SITM, well, they have also secured 8 finishers point in their favor, and like this multiple teams have played very much phenomenally, and the great performance of the first day of the default map Wrangle will end here. We'll take a short break, guys, and we'll meet you after a short break. Till then, stay tuned and keep supporting us. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, स्वागत है आप सभी का आज के stream पे and finally here we are coming up with the second match of the day and which is pretty much deciding and I was expecting the map of Miramar but without wasting any time we'll move towards the map of सहनॉक एंड अगर बात करेंगे यहाँ पे टीम्स की अगर हम बात करेंगे यहाँ पे प्लेयर्स की but before that, I would love to discuss about the fly path, starting from those northeastern parts of the region, ending towards those southwestern parts of the region. The fly path is looking pretty much decent, pretty much challenging for the teams and players as well. We can see a few number of drop clashes as well. And talking about Kao, well, team ETP, Mavix, CSP, IPS, NI, and Susu. Well, these teams are four men standing with those zero finishes point, and they're almost on those top 16 teams. They're almost on those top 63 alive players. Let's see. I believe how will they perform out, what will be the strategies, what will be their potential, what will be their momentum. This is a very important note to watch out. Similarly, if we talk about the zone central part, this is gonna be almost very much challenging, very much crucial for the teams, very much crucial for the players as well. Talking about team number 9, they are totally looking very much strong enough. Vertex, Zomi, Exnani, Storm, Ninja. Well, these are the four players standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet. Talking about those northern parts of the region, well, this is still looking very much challenging, very much crucial for the teams, very much clusterifying the player. Let's see where are the region where we can see rotation clashes as well. Talking about Team Vertex. In front of them, it's Team IHC. Last match was totally fantastic for the team, but I believe they lost the chicken era. I think they were having a great advantage of man advantage. They were having a great advantage of height, but apart from those things, they did some mistake due to which they lost the game. But Liquid 5 Esports, so they played phenomenally. Their focus, their goal was quite clear and caught those early finishes point, got those end zone finishes point, played end game very much aggressively. But at those another end, if we talk about Liquid 5 Esports, the winner chicken of last match, finally they are back in this match as well. Vanam, Sunshine, Shasha, and Floor. Still the same lineup. I think one player has been substituted, but four men standing. They haven't secured any finish point. They haven't got any position yet. 16 teams, 62 players are still surviving. If we talk about the Hatin, well, Hatin teams, Talbot Esports, Ruje, Wisdom, Duka. Well, these teams have three men standing with those zero finishes point. They're almost on top 16 teams, so top 62 live players, getting a great hold to watch out. And I believe Stalwart Esports is ready for that surprise attack, ready to deliver that surprise attack towards the enemy. But talking about team MRK, Dinox, Piano, Mufar, Elsa, they are still waiting forward with those 4 men strong advantage, with those one finish point in their favor. Almost 3 to 4 minutes are over. They are planning, they are plotting, they are executing their plans, but the question is that will the plan get executed on point as per decided? But finally the first pick has been taken down. Piano has been knocked. Mufar is almost eliminated, but Dinox is also not looking that good. Dinox has been picked off. Elsa not being that solo player standing for the team. She's barely surviving. She's barely surviving this few with 10 HP. Will she able to clutch it out? This is the very important question to watch out. The Lone Ranger, the lone survivor for the team, and there comes the peak and there comes the knock as well. And as Talbot Esports Ruje, well, finally this team is getting their proclamation very nicely, very progressively. But onto the regions of northern part, well, Cow, ETP, they are looking very much great. Talking about Sister, they are also holding a great position to watch out. 4 men standing with those zero finishes point, and they are almost on top 15 teams and top 57 alive players as well. Well, 15 teams, 57 players are still surviving to watch out. But on to the other end, if we talk about the Paradise Resort region, SC Yankee, Memix, Pima, Zeni, Yankee. Well, these are the four-man standing team. They have also secured those zero finishes point onto their favor. 15 teams, 57 players are still surviving. If we talk about the zone formation, well, that is also looking pretty much difficult. That is also looking pretty much challenging for the team. ETP, Seni, Vimex, and SBI Sushu NI. Well, they are still waiting on, and almost 5 minutes is over. It is a very much decent time to watch out for the teams and for the players as well. 5 to 6 minutes is being taken down, and one by one, players and teams are approaching the goal, approaching the areas, approaching the position. Sister and Mochi, Jadpu, Jetsi, Vika. Well, these are the four-man standing team with those zero finishes point. 15 teams, 57 players are surviving. In front of them, it's Team 12. They are totally waiting, they are totally holding right now, and the question is that how will they memorialize their position. But on those northeastern parts, still a liquid 5 esports, they are still waiting on, they're still holding on. The question is that how will they maintain the same consistency? Talking about Sister Davika, Jetsi, Zadapu, Mochi, and it's Davaika. Well, these are the four-man standing team with those zero finishes point into their favor. The movement is very much clear. The movement is very much holdable. Misaki and Cherry. Well, these are the four players standing still waiting down, getting those red mountain buildings into their favor. And the question is that the consistency, how to maintain the consistency, it becomes very much important. Talking about Team IHC, well, it's Victorious, Winter, Mikas, and any NRGS. Well, these teams are four-man standing with those zero finishes point in their favor. 15 teams, 57 players are still surviving right now. And if we talk about those zone central parts of the region, well, boot camp, what we call the heart of Sanok, because this is always a region where we can see multiple fights at a similar region. And let's see how will the team, how will the players initiate those engagement, initiate those disengagement. This becomes very much important. But right now, 7 to 8 minutes is almost over. Talking about Khao region, this is still looking very much challenging. This is still looking very much crucial for the teams and players. But back to back one or two knocks will always give a confidence to the players, always give a confidence to the team. And the question is that gaining the confidence, gaining the potential into the hold is always a pretty much good decision. But finally, ETP and SNI is praising down, is moving forward towards the enemies. Let's see how will they hold the position, how will they hold their holdings. But between these things, if we talk about the zone central part, well, Team IHC has finally secured those finishes point. They haven't secured any finishes point yet, but talking about Team EDT, well, they can be on target. And let's see how will the target provoke out, what will be their strategies as well. Because as I can see, teams and players are coming very close to boot camp. Almost 3 to 4 teams are coming around those boot camp regions, those hilly regions, and this is very much important to roll out. But moving with that Thompson into their hand with those upcoming sprays. There you go, Victorious GS. She's coming with that surprise attack onto their favor. 15 teams, 55 players are still surviving. I think it's almost 8 to 9 minutes is almost over, and this is a very decent number to watch out. One finish point has been secured by Team IHC. 15 teams to 55 players. But onto the other end, talking about Team Mata. Well, a four-man standing team with those zero finishes point in their favor. They are also on top 15 teams, top 55 alive players. And let's see what will be their progression, what will be their hold, because this also becomes very much important, very much challenging and crucial for the team. Talking about Team QR, Nuzat, Kuku, QR, NF69. Well, these teams are three-man standing with those zero finishes point. They're on top 15 teams, top 55 alive players, and almost 9 to 10 minutes are over, which is a very decent progression to watch out. And the question is that what will be the upcoming task, what will be the upcoming hold from the teams and from the players as well. 15 teams, 55 players are still surviving out, and almost 10 minutes is over, which is a pretty decent task to watch out. But what we talk about, the zone formation, the new rotation, the new angular hold, if we look towards cow, this is looking very much decent, this is looking very much challenging. It's gonna be a 4v3 scenario. Team sister is totally ready with those 4 men strong advantage, but yet there's no conclusion to this fight, or there's no, I think, excitation to this fight. 10 to 11 minutes is over, and now the question is that how will they proclaim the holding? Sister is still waiting on, sister is still holdable enough to get those finishes point. 10 to 11 minutes is over, and the question is that to maintain the consistency, you need to be quite aggressive enough, you need to get those skill set into the right point, into the right favor. And the most important thing to watch out is that when we talk about the rotation clashes, because at the time we don't see only one rotation clash, we can see multiple rotation clashes at the time. But looking at Lucy, she's still waiting forward with those hide and seek still gameplay. And we look towards Team Mata, well, they are totally ready for those aggression, they are totally ready for those fight into their favor. 4 men standing team with those 0 finishes point, and this is what we call the perfect planning and perfect execution. Bam bam, they are waiting on talking about Frozens. Well, there comes the DBS shots, and here comes the surprise attack moving forward with those 11 DBS bullet. It's gonna be very much challenging, very much crucial. The shot connection was quite precious to watch out, quite challenging to note out, but back to back, I think finalizing the sprays, finalizing the finishes point is very much difficult. Some artificial smoke covers has been created out in Sanhok, which is a way more not expected, as we don't get that much smoke here. And on to the another end, if we talk about Team MAB, well, this team is also looking 3 men standing with those 0 finishes point, almost on top 15 teams, top 53 alive players. 11 to 12 minutes is over, and let's see what will be their progression. But talking about Team SE, Mimic, Pima, Jenny and Yankee, well, these teams are 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point in their favor. They are almost on top 15 teams, top of 53 alive players, and 12 to 13 minutes is over, which is a pretty decent number to watch out. But on to the other end, they're looking towards Team Mata, they are not that confident enough. Talking about MEB, Cherry, Sweetie and Misaki, well, this team is 3 men standing with those 0 finishes point into their favor, which is a very good number. But talking about the zone formation, this is not looking that great, this is not looking that precious enough to hold on the game into their favor, because it becomes very much important for both of the teams and both of the players as well. Well, similarly, if we talk about Team QR NFE69, well, Team QR, this team is 3 men standing with those 0 finishes point in their favor. They are almost on top 15 teams, top 52 alive players, and almost 13 to 14 minutes have been ended, which is a pretty much good time to watch out. But on to the other end, if we talk about Team SITM, Mizu, Rita, Samurai, Maria, well, this team is 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point, which is a pretty much a decent position to watch out. Talking about Team AL, Zaini, Piku, Monica and Zay, well, this team is also 4 men standing. They have also not secured any finish point yet. 15 teams, 51 players are still surviving on. But on to the other end, if we talk about Mizu and Rita, well, this team is also pretty much ready to initiate for the engagement of those fight. Mata, Bam Bam, Frozen and Mini, well, these are the 3 players standing with those pretty much good aggression. Talking about Pine and region, well, this is also a region to watch out, where we can see multiple drop clashes, but finally this region is not in that zone, so player need to get the rotations. I believe a player need to get the progression onto the right point, onto the right favor as well. And let's see finally what will be the result, what will be the scenarios. This becomes very much important, and 14 to 15 minutes is over. Talking about Team IHC, they're looking pretty much strong enough. IHC engage GS, Victorial GS, Kasaz GS, 4 men standing with those 1 finish point. Is a pretty good decent number. While talking about Mata, Bam Bam, Frozen and Nenny, this team is still 3 men standing with those 1 finishes point, and the rate of fight per minute or within 5 minutes is getting slower down, but finally some amazing shots is taken on Mikasa GS, and she has been taken down. Winter GS and Victoria, the last three players standing, and even Engage GS is still weighted down. An instant revival, an instant revival will be given to the players, and an instant revival will be given to the teams as well. But the question is that will they go with that one knock push? This is very important question to watch out. Finally, team number 20 not looking that great, not looking in that great position. Some Molotovs of grenade are being used with that EMP45 and M416, which is a great combination to watch out. And I believe team SITM need to push in, because they wouldn't get a better option than this. And finally some Molotov is on Engage. This is gonna be a 1v1. The reload would be a tricky moment for the team, a tricky moment for the players. But again, if we talk about team number 11, they were in upper hand advantage, and finally they lose this fight. They lose this attack. And now I think it's not gonna be that easy. It's not gonna be that I think potentialized enough for the teams and for the players as well. 16 to 17 minutes is almost over. Talking about team IHC, well, they are also ready for the fights, and they are also very much creative enough. Talking about the northeastern parts of the region, SC Yankee, Mimic, Zeni, and Pima. Well, this team is a four-man standing with those one finish point in their favor. They have almost secured top 13 teams, top 38 alive players position. But on to the other end, if we talk about team MEB, Cherry, Sweetie, Misaki, well, this team is also 3 months standing with those two finishes point, and they're almost on top 12 teams. Holding a great progressive approach, holding a great holdable approach. Vortex, X, Inji, X Storm, Anani, May, Storm are still surviving with those 4-man strong advantage. They are still having 0 finishes point, not secured a better position, not secured a better version to watch out. 17 to 18 minutes is almost over. Talking about team number 20, well, that totality some early phases shots have been taken down. Team number 9 is almost on a great vortex to get this fight, is almost on a great hold to get this fight. Talking about team number 5, well, they are still trying to get some early picks. One finishes point has been secured by the players. Talking about team QR, will they able to win this fight? This becomes very much important, and even they need to I think cross the river. And I don't think they'll need to cross the river, because still yet not decided that at which part of the region zone will get shifted. So you need to be very much ready, very much attentive in the game, because at any point of the time, I totally agree, the game could be changed, the potential could be very much different. But talking about the other players, MEB, Cherry, Misaki, well, these are the 3 men standing with those 2 finishes point. They're on top 12 teams, top 34 live players. Some useful grenades and some useful throwables are being used. Talking about team EDT, they are also very much ready. They are also very much attentive for the fights. Talking about team number 21, Zeni, Mimic, and Yankee, this team is 4 men standing with those 1 finish point in their favor. 12 teams, 33 players are still surviving, and let's see what will be their result as well. 11 teams, so 31 players are still surviving, as we can see. But talking about team QR, they are also waiting on they are also holding on for the holding on the position for the teams and for the players as well. Talking about team EDT, ready for the fight. Luna, it's MS, Anti, U, Purple, and Maha. Well, this team is a 4 man standing with those 2 finishes point into their favor. They are almost on top 11 teams, top 30 alive players. Talking about the northern parts of the region, talking about the northern region, Stalwart Esports are holding a great position. Stalwart Esports holding a great hold to watch out. Kiki and She, well, these are the last 2 players standing, having a better height advantage on a diagonal angle. She will be taken down, and Kiki is the last player standing for the team. I don't think it's going to be that easy for the players. I don't think it's going to be that easy for the teams. But talking about those eastern parts of the region, MAB, Kisaki, Sweetie, and Cherry. Well, these are the players surviving for the team. These are the last few players surviving for the team. Cherry and Misaki are the last two players standing with those two finishes point in their favor. Top 10 teams, top 23 alive players are still surviving. 19 to 20 minutes is over. Talking about a team EDT, it's MSNTU, Haha, Purple, and Luna. Well, they've also secured 3 finishes point to their favor. 9 teams, 20 players. Talking about Stalwart Esports, they're also looking very much great. They're also looking very much progressive right now. And the question is that will they attain the same holding? Will they attain the same potential? This becomes very much important. Well, 9 teams, 19 players are still surviving out. Talking about the Stalwart Esports, well, this team is also 3 men standing with those 8 finishes point in their favor. Some UMP45 shots has been taken down. Wisdom and the upcoming picks was totally fantastic, totally phenomenal to watch out. Top 8 teams, top 17 alive players are still surviving. 22 minutes is over. Talking about team number 21, they are aggressing out. They are getting inside the zone to get those finishes point. Talking about MAB, Cherry, Sweetie, well, 2 players has been taken down, and Misaki, well, she is the last player standing for the team, and it becomes very much important for the last player because all the responsibility of finishes point, place point is on the shoulder of that last player. Let's see how will they play off, what will be their strategies. But talking about IOC, Victoria S, Engage GS, 2 men standing team with those 9 finishes point. They're almost on top 6 teams, top 11 remaining players. Let's see what will be the result, what will be the scenarios. But what we call about heal battle, it's Axis Kiski. She's coming with those heal battle. Only 2 firsted left out. Talking about SE Mimic, 7 more firsted left out, and I'm pretty much sure she could attain the position of top 4 with those 7 firsted. But is there any other player doing heal battle? No, it's no. There's no other player doing that heal battle. But talking about Team IHC, they are again on that top 5 list. If we talk about the last match, they also considered the top 3 list with those decent number of finishes point. But right now they're on top 5 teams, top 9 alive players. 10 finishes point is secured by the teams. 10 finishes point is secured with the players. Talking about team number 15, team Stalwart Esports, they are back in the form with that lethal form, with that lethal approach. 11 finishes point has been secured by the team. 4 teams, 8 players are still remaining out. Team number 20, they are looking in a very great, very decent position to watch out. Engage GS, Victorial GS, 2 men standing team with those 10 finishes points still waiting forward. And the gameplay of snakes, the gameplay of reptiles has been started, and I don't think it's going to be that easy. This end zone fight will be full of those surprises, those I think chaos, and the chaos has been started. The Engage has been taken down. Victoria, I think she is looking in very big trouble, and the way Team Stalwart Esports is performing out, that's going to be very much lethal. And finally they'll get those 2 more finishes point. This fight is coming to an end with that 1v4, and Stalwart Esports will get this match with onto the 14 finishes point in their favor, and the second position is secured by Team QR with those 4 finishes point. Talking about Team IHC, they have also secured some decent number. They have also secured 10 finishes point in their favor, which is very much required enough. And this will be the end of second match of the day, guys, and we'll take a short break. We'll meet you after a short break. Till then, stay tuned and keep supporting us. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, finally here we are coming up with the third match of the day, which is the last match of day three. And if we talk about the team, well, Team EDT, this team is four men standing. Without wasting any time, we will move towards the zone formation. And talking about the zone formation, it will start from those southeastern parts of the region and towards those northwestern parts of the region. A perfect, a typical diagonal fly path to watch out. And this is going to be very much chaotic, very much clusterized, very much holdable for the team, very much holdable for the players as well. But at those other regions, if we talk about the drop clashes, well, drop clash is going to be very much challenging. Drop clash is going to be very much holdable. Let's see what will be the result, what will be the scenarios, what will be the progression. But on to the another end, we talk about the progression. Well, Puchinki, Milta Power, well, these are the always region to pleasure out where we can see multiple fights. Well, 16 teams, 63 players are still surviving out. And if we talk about the Novorapnoi region, well, team MEB is totally ready to watch out. Four men standing with those zero finishes point, and they're almost on top 16 teams, top 63 live players as well. Talking about team ETP, well, they are four men standing and having a decent position to watch out, having a decent hold to lock it out. Let's see what will be their scenarios. Let's see what will be their results as well. And now the question is that how will they maintain the consistency? How will they maintain the decency? This becomes very much important. But talking about the northern parts of the region, SE, Pima, Zeni, Yankee, and Memic. Well, these are the four players standing with those zero finishes point into their favor, and it's not going to be that great, or it's not going to be that doable enough. But the question is that how will you maintain the progression? How will you maintain the hold in this game, in this particular region? Because talking about Salvity Sports, Violet, Ruja, Duka, and Wisdom, this team is four men standing with those zero finishes point, and they're almost on top 16 teams, so top 63 alive players. 2.5 minutes is almost over. But talking about the Yasnaya Polyana open ground regions, well, this is also a region to worry out, where we can see Team SE challenging another players. Team SITM last match was totally fantastic for the team, but let's see how they perform in this match as well. Four men standing team looking a little bit underconfident just because of those loots, and that could be a region to worry out. But talking about Novo Ripnoi, this is always a region to tackle down. Talking about MAB, Lucy, Cherry, Sweetie, and Misaki, this team is four men standing with those zero finishes into their favor. 16 teams, 61 players are still surviving out. Talking about Team QR, Films has been taken down. Cuckoo, Nuzat, and NRF 69. These team are four men standing. They have almost lost two players, and Nuzat and NF 69. Well, they are the last two players standing for the team. Talking about Team EDT, this team is four men standing with those one finishes into their favor, and they're having a very decent approach. They're having a very decent potential onto their ground plan. But the question is that how will they obtain those finishes point? How will they execute their plans? Because distance being the factor can cause a lot of trouble. Well, simply talking about team number 5, they are looking very much great, trying to get some more finishes point. But Nuzat now being that solo player standing for the team, it's gonna be very much difficult, gonna be very much challenging for the teams and players. The last player, the Lone Ranger, finally he'll get eliminated out from here, and we can see back to back multiple fights right now moving towards Yasnaya Polyana. Again, they're trying to create some more amazing knocks, some more amazing picks, some more amazing entertainment. But at those Novo Rupnoy region, it's still a region to worry out, where we can see multiple fights. Looking at Team MEB, in front of them it's Team ETP, Cherry, Sweetie, Misaki, and Lucy. Well, this team is four men standing with those zero finishes point into their favor. Talking about northern parts of the region, well, Team Stalwart Esports last match they almost got a chicken dinner with those 13 to 14 finishes point, but this match not going to be that easy, not going to be that crucial enough. The question is still awaited, that how will they move forward. Almost 5 to 6 minutes is over, and now you need to be very much ready. Now you need to be very much attentive enough for talking about Novo Ripnoy. Maybe Lucy, Cherry, and Sweetie are still standing with those four-man strong advantage. They're having zero finishes point. They're almost on top 15 teams, or top 53 alive players. And question is that they need to attain the progression. They need to attain the momentum. 5 to 6 minutes is almost over, and Team MEB, they're looking in a very great progression. They're looking in a very decent hold, decent momentum. But Novo Ripnoy, I think teams and players are coming limitedly. They're coming back in action. Almost 6 minutes is over. Talking about team number 12, they are also quite holdable enough. They're also quite patient enough to get those finishes point. But eastern part, talking about Lefkoka region, well, this is a very decent region to watch out, where we can see a good number of fights, a good number of knocks, a good number of finishers point. But remembering the past, I don't think Stalwart Esports will able to maintain the same consistency, because they were facing a lot of trouble and a communication gap between their teammates. 'Similarly, 14 teams, 51 players are still surviving out. If we talk about team number 14, they are in a great position. They are in a great hole to watch out. 14 teams, 51 players. It's a very decent number. But the competition compared to the last 2 days, it's not that up to the mark. But it's gonna be very much challenging, very much crucial, very much doable for the team. 7 to 8 minutes is almost over, and now you need to be very much ready. Now you need to be very much doable, holdable enough. And let's see how will they play off, what will be their result as well. 14 teams, 51 players are still surviving out, and this is what we call a great number, a great gesture to provoke out. But talking about those another region, talking about those northwestern part of the region, Team IHC, well, this team is totally ready for those creation fight, for those creating upper end advantages. But talking about the zone central part, Team TSR, this team has already acquired some early zone central parts region. Zoria, Asus, and Bebo. This team is a four-man standing with those zero finishes pointing into their favor. They're almost on top 14 teams, the top 51 alive players, and the consistency maintained by the team is very much required. But talking about Team IHC, they're not looking in that great position. Four-man standing with those zero finishes point. They're almost on top 14 teams, the top 50 alive players. Let's see how will they move forward. Talking about Sister, Jabdu, Mochi, Jetsi, Dwavika. This team is also four-man standing. They have also secured some decent number into their favor. But Team IHC, this fight is almost looking like a cat and rat chase gameplay. They're just rotating on. They're just moving from here and there, and it's not going to be that easy. It's going to be very much challenging. It's going to be very much clusterifying for the teams, for the players as well. But talking about Team Mata, well, this team is very much precise enough. They take the fights very much seriously and very much aggressively. But onto the another end, looking towards Team TSR, four-man standing with those zero finishes point, almost on top 13 teams. Top 43 live players got a very decent number to watch out. VRTR, Xtom and Xeni. Well, these are the three players standing with those zero finishes point. They're on top 13 teams, top 53, top 43 are live players. Talking about team TSR, they're still waiting on with those four-man strong advantage. They're still with that holdable approach, but finally we can see a multiple of rotation clashes onto the other end. Looking at team number 10. Well, they're still waiting on. They're still holdable enough. They're still going to attain the same decency into the region. But talking about zone central part, team TSR, Bebo, Suz, Erza, Zoria are still standing. Four men standing with those one finishes point into their favor. They're almost on top 12 teams. Top 39 live players, but moving towards Axis Baby, Shia, Kiki, Era, and it's on to the other end. Baby and she as well. Well, there are four men standing, but the most important thing to watch out, they haven't secured any finish point yet, which is not a good position to look out, not a good position to maintain out. But looking toward those eastern parts of the region, team IHC is again trying to engage some more fights. They have almost secured no finish point yet, but the game is not looking that competitive. The game is not looking that competitive enough right now, which is not so applicable. But let's see how will they move forward in the upcoming times. Well, talking about team TSR, they are also looking in a great position. They're also looking in a great hold. Let's see what will be the scenarios, what will be the potential as well. But on to the other end, if we talk about the Potato Hill, well, this is also a region to worry out. This is also a region to tackle out for the teams, tackle out for the players. The question is that how will they maintain the same decency? How will they maintain the same progression, same potential throughout the match? This is going to be a very deciding matter to watch out. 12 teams, 37 players. Talking about the zone formation, Mata is still waiting on. But is still trying to engage some fights, trying to engage some more upcoming knocks from their side. But the question is that consistency, they need to be very much consistent enough and very much progressive enough. But at the same time, talking about Team ETP, they are waiting Vertex Exani with that Molotov, trying to create some knocks, and finally there's a rotation clash around Shelter. Looking at Team Liquid 5, this team is 4-man standing with those one finishers point into their favor. Some AKM shots has been taken on. 11 teams, 34 players. AKM, which is a lethal weapon to watch out. It's not gonna be that easy for any of the team, but this 1v1 scenario are gonna be very much choosable enough for both of the players. So Sunshine is totally ready for the engagement of the fight. Sunshine is totally ready for that holdable approach. 11 teams, 34 players. Let's see what will be the final result. I'm sorry guys, between these things there are some issues to watch out, but moving towards this fight, Team Sister, I think they're totally engaged toward this fight, and I'm pretty much waiting, I'm pretty much evoked that how will this fight take place and what will be the final result as well. Well, for now, some artificial smoke cover are being created so that they could buy some adaptive time to adapt inside. And this could be very much challenging. This could be very much crucial. This could be very much important for the teams, important for the players as well. And I don't think it's gonna be that easy. I don't think it's gonna be that I think holdable enough. But on to the other end, if we look at Team Sister, they are waiting on. They are still moving very steadily. They are moving very slowly to get those position point into their favor, which is very much required and very much choosable. 11 teams, 34 players are still surviving onto the area, and this is gonna be very much challenging, gonna be very much crucial for the team. If we look at SE Yankees, Zeni, two-man standing team with those zero finishers point, they're almost on top 11 teams, the top 34 alive players onto their favor. If we look towards the Shelter, well, Shelter is also looking very much challenging. Liquid 5 Esports, Shasha, Sunshine, Annam, Floor, four-man standing team getting a great position to watch out. But if Team Sister attains the same potential as compared to the last match, I think they could get those finishes point as well. But talking about Axis Baby, Kiski, and Axis Farrar, well, they are also waiting on. They also are trying to get some more finishes points. Some grenades and some throwables are being used right now, and it's not going to be that easy for each and every player, because if the player gets knocked, it's very much difficult to attain the same confidence, to attain the same remembrance of gameplay at the same point. But let's see what will be the results, what will be the chaos, and what will be the difference we can see after this fight. But team number 13, they are totally planning towards team against team number 11 to win this fight. 11 teams, so 34 players are still surviving. Talking about the zone central part, Team Mata, these players are four-man standing at those zone central parts of the region, which is very much crucial, which is very much a challenge, which is very much challenging for the players, very much challenging for the teams. But at those another end, at those another region, Team Mata, Mimi, Bam Bam, Frozen, and Cosmo, well, they are four-man standing with a great progression to watch out. But talking about Axis, Kiski, She Baby, and Axis Era 09, well, this team is a four-man standing with those 0 finishes point. They're almost on top 11 teams and top 34 alive players. Let's see what will be the final result, what will be the final progression onto their side. 15 to 16 minutes is almost over, but those western part, it is still looking very much difficult for the players and for the teams. Samurai holding that M416 with that 4x into his favor. I think this is gonna be very much difficult for the teams and players. But looking towards those eastern part, Liquid 5, Floor, Aman, and Shasha, this team is totally three-man standing, and they comes the phenomenal split. Floor has been taken down. Anam and Shasha, the last two players standing, and it's going to be very much crucial, very much challenging for each player, and each player surviving, even from the opponents and even from the their team as well. But team number 10 and not looking in a great position to watch out this fight. 2 players has been eliminated. Team number 18 is totally ready to engage the fight, totally ready to engage their potential. 11 teams, 31 players are surviving out. Aman and Floor are the last 2 players standing, and the fight from scores has finally ended towards duo, and let's see finally which duo will get this fight into their right favor. If we look at Sister Mochi, she is still waiting on to hold that and to get those finishes point. But if we talk about the zone formation, it's very difficult for each and every team to get inside the zone, because as we can see, 11 teams are surviving and only 3 teams, as we can see, are inside the zone. Gonna be a bit difficult and bit crucial. But looking at Team SC, Yankee has been finally taken down by Cosmo, but onto the end, ETP players are also trying to get some more finishes point against Team TS, and multiple fights engagement have been done at those end zone at the formation of 4th zone. But talking about Axis, they're still waiting on, they're still holding on finally to get those finishes point, and let's see what will be the final result and what will be the final progression of the match. Similarly, if we talk about rotation, well, there you go, Team ETP. Well, they are 4 men standing with those 5 finishes point, holding a great numbers in their hand, because they're having man advantage as well as player advantage as well as a zone advantage and finishes point as well. Getting all the numbers into right favor, into the right point at the right time is always much necessary to watch out. Let's see how will Team 12 get the upper hand position into their favor. But talking about Team Nata, 4 men standing team with those 0 finishes point, they're almost on top 11 teams, top 29 alive players. Axis, She Baby, Kiki, Axis Farah 09 are still waiting on. 11 teams, 29 players. Western part of the region is still looking very much basic, none clear to watch out. Team SITM, Mizu, Rita, Maria, Samurai with those 2 finishes point into the favor. Let's see how will they move forward, what will be the closing career. But Axis Era, Shri Baby, and talking about Farah, well, they are still also waiting on, they are still also moving forward. But Cosmo, Bamba, Many, and Frozen are still waiting on, still holding on. Let's see what will be their result as well. It's going to be very much challenging. But talking about Team TSR, well, they have also secured 2 finishes point. Each and every team are performing according to their hold and performing according to their potential as well. Between these things, I'll request each and everyone, guys, to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream with your friends, with your mates, and some amazing tracing sprays have been done by Bebo, and two players have been taken down from those running vehicles, and that was clearly satisfying and very much important to watch out for the players and teams. And team number 12, now they're not in that great position. The last player, ETP Sabi Susu, surviving for the team. Let's see what will be her result right now. Well, on to the other end, if we talk about team number 13, they're also totally waiting on, they're also totaling, holding on. Access, Baby Shri, Era, and Kiki. Well, Kiki for the time being has been taken down. They have almost secured zero finishes point. They're almost on top 9 teams, top 23 alive players. The last two players standing, Kiki and Baby, has been taken down. Shri and Era 09, the last two players standing. I think it's going to be very much difficult if we talk about 2v4 with that EMP 45 and level 12 Midwest. Is almost possible, but you need to gain those confidence, and showing your back to your opponents is very much crucial. Well, he's barely surviving those free HP, and it's not gonna be that easy. Finally, will be get eliminated. And team number 14, they will get those a bigger number of finishes point with those 6 finishes point into their backpack. 8 teams, 18 players. So talking about the southern parts of the region, well, southern parts of the region is secured by team ETP. The last player standing, Sabi Susu, surviving for the team. Let's see for how much long time she can survive for the team, for a player as well. Talking about SITM, almost 3 players are still standing. Rita is knocked, and I believe they can easily get those revival. They can easily get those early instant revival, which is very much provoked off. But talking about northern parts of the region, Stalwart Esports, so they are totally trying to create those fight. Wisdom, the last player standing for the team, 3 finishes points has been secured. But onto the other end, talking about Mata, Nini, Bam Bam, Frozens, and Cosmo, 4-man standing team with those 6 finishes point into the backpack. 7 teams, so 16 players are still surviving. But onto the other end, if we talk about those little bit western part, Sitima, Mizu, Rita, Maria, Samurai. Well, this team is 4-man standing with those 4 finishes point. 6 teams, 15 players are still surviving. The game is moving very fastly towards those end game and end zone. Similarly, if we talk about Salvat Esports, not looking in a great position to hold on, not looking in a great progression to maintain out. But onto the other end, if we look at zone central part, it's still secured by SITM, the only team to get inside the zone. To get inside the zone and to get those position with those man advantage and 4 finishes point, I think it's SITM, and getting the chicken dinner from here is going to be very much difficult, because as they're in the zone center, they're going to become the center of attraction. And when you are when you are the center of attraction, I think it's almost being very much insignificant to watch out. It's gonna be very much challenging to watch out. And similarly, if we talk about Team Mata, they haven't secured a bigger number of finish point yet, which is very much misleading, which is very much challenging for the players, for the teams as well. But talking about Cosmos, 6 finishes point has been secured. Stalwart Esports, Duka, the last player standing, and here comes the headshot spray. And finally, with that headshot spray, they'll get some more knocks, they'll get some more finishes point, and finally the push is yet to go. It's Frozen moving from front end for the team, getting those knocks, getting those finishes point. Bam Bam and Nene are the last 2 players standing for the team. It's going to be very much crucial, very much challenging for the team. So very much important for the players to initiate this fight and get a conclusion from here. But 4 teams, 10 players, we are almost at those end game, but end game is still yet to get a conclusion, because you need to show a very aggressive gameplay to get those finishes pointed into their favor. Let's see how will the players move forward from here. But between those things, 4 teams, 10 players are still surviving out. And I'll also request you guys to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream with your friends, and show your support, because it becomes very much important if some organization is getting those events, getting those tournaments for you guys. You guys need to support the org so that they could bring some more amazing gameplays, so that they could bring some more amazing tournaments for you guys as well in the upcoming times. Well, four teams, 10 players are still surviving. Talking about SITM, they were waiting from a longer period of time, and still a four-man standing with those 6 finishes point, which is totally worth it for the team. And if they don't do any mistake, I totally agree, they could win this fight from here only. But it's gonna be not that easy. Some amazing tracing of the sprays are being done on the vehicles as we talk about buggy, and it's not gonna be that easy. 3 teams, 9 players. Talking about Team TS, the last 2 players standing. It's a 3v2 scenario, and the 7th zone, 25 minutes is almost over. Team Mata, players are spotted inside the artificial smoke cover. Let's see which team will get that second. And Team TSR is looking strong. Beyond them, indeed, if we look at this team, they are with those man disadvantage, and finally Erza will get those finishes point, and Team SITM has a perfect opportunity to get those finishes point right now, right here, but not gonna be that easy and not gonna be that fluent enough, because if you want those finishes point, you need to be very much approachable. 2 teams, 6 players, 26 minutes is over, and now the question is that you need to attain the consistency. Let's see what will be your results, what will be a progression. 7 finishes point and secured by SITM, Maria, Rita and Samurai. 2 teams, 6 players. Talking about TSR, Bebo and Erza. Well, 7 finishes point also secured by. Let's see what will be the result, what will be the challenges. 26 minutes is almost over. Talking about SITM, well, they're still waiting on, they're still holdable enough. Erza, they're waiting on, moving forward, and finally Erza has been spotted and taken down. Bebo, last player standing for the team, is going for that 1v4. Will he able to clutch it out? Will she able to clutch it out? I'm sorry, I don't think it's gonna be that easy. She's Purun down, and finally she'll get spotted and she'll get eliminated as well, and Team SITM will get that winner chicken dinner with almost 9 finishes point in the favor. A perfect role play of those man advantage, those finishes point, and those communication and coordination. And with this, we'll end the day 3 with a perfect note. But between these things, guys, I'll request you all to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share, and show your support. We'll take goodbye from you guys and meet after a few days. Till then, guys, stay tuned and keep supporting us.